So guys, Tinubu have come under fire over what he said. He said that before he was born, there was hunger in Nigeria. He said that before I was born, there was hunger in this country. Bola Tinubu said this. We are in a critical situation. If the president can speak like this concerning the country, then it should serious concerns about the direction of leadership. Ayo Mairo, that is one of the anchor in Arrest TV, reacted to the president's remark that hunger in Nigeria existed before he was born. And he said something. He said that let your churches feed you. That's why you are a member. Before I was born, there was hunger. I don't have control over the population. This is what Tinubu said ahead of 2027. Nigeria, we are in a big mess in Nigeria. If our president can come out and say this, that before we were born, or before he was born, there was hunger in Nigeria, that we should go and meet our pastors to come and feed us. Do you see the issue of Nigeria? And then tomorrow, some people are supporting APC government in Nigeria. I mean, some Nigerians in Nigeria are supporting Tinubu to win next election because of what they will gain. Go and ask those people that supported Tinubu in the last election. All of them are regretting it. All of them are now supporting P2B and NDC because what they voted for was not what they were seeing. Most of them voted for APC government so that they can be able or they can benefit from the APC government, but they're not benefiting anything, not even one thing for the hands of APC. So that is why they are all angry and they are now protesting and campaigning against Tinubu in the next election. And some people are still supporting APC government in Nigeria, where our president came and told us that we should go and meet our church people to feed us because that is why we are members. That he does not have control over the population. Guys, this is APC government for you. And he has said that don't be on the wrong side of history. US-based political scientist Q Amachre tells Trump to release Tinubu FVIDEA files on alleged narcotics dealing. Everybody wants Trump to come to action with this issue of Tinubu's drug issue or drug cases. They want Trump to release the files so that everybody will know that this is what happened or this kind of president the Nigerians have, because the level of hunger in Nigeria is alarming. And lastly, he said that breaking, Tinubu has done it again. He approves 46 billion naira for Kano Airport runway reconstruction. This is the most corrupt government in the history of Nigeria. How do you spend 46 billion naira to reconstruct an airport runway? How? For context, that money will build and equip 700 to 1,500 primary health care centers nationwide. Tinubu should be the first to really serve jail term when he leaves power. Nigerians, imagine what these guys will steal in the second term. Guys, this is a warning to us. Let us vote right in the next election. Just watch this video and let me get your views in the comment section, guys.
Was born, there was hunger in Nigeria. Let's take a look.
Yes, it liability of my predecessor. I so did. And I've been running with it. But this government has stabilized and there's prosperity on the horizon. The quality of life is improving. Yes, before I was born, there was hunger in this country. And I have no control of the population development of Nigeria, trajectory. And that is why you have membership in your various faiths and churches to give hope to people and give commitment to humanity and the true sense of it.
All right, Aya, Nigerians are divided. Some agreeing that hunger and population growth are structural challenges no president can fix overnight. Others pointing out that fuel subsidy removal and naira devaluation have significantly worsened food costs under this administration. And I'll take some reactions on X before I come to you. Bruno wrote, inheriting past challenges is literally part of the job description of a president. Is there actually any government that succeeds without assets and liabilities? We need real solutions instead of endless reminders of the previous administration's mess by the president. Another ex-user, Legal, wrote, he made a quite striking comment about having no control of the population development trajectory of Nigeria. Asiwaju, conduct a census to know how many people are in the country, then plan accordingly. Why plan accordingly? It is important to know the percentage increase of the general population of Nigeria, the eligible voters, the unemployed, underemployed people, the elders, etc. Humans are the greatest assets of a nation. Planning the economy based on estimated population shows unseriousness. If the population is growing and at a fast pace, as most analysts are projecting, what can you as the president do? Nothing. It's too sensitive to touch, but at least speak up. Be proactive. You know, I actually like that tweet
Very
about,
good.
census and the planning, because this is one of the issues that we have in Nigeria.
Yes.
We do not have that database, the census database. And this is the sort of conversation we should begin to have, even, towards the lead up to the election. We're talking about, how many voters are there? What is the actual population of Nigeria? But also the question about how do you plan for an economy? We've seen the economics or even this administration talking about this $1 trillion economy as well. Your thoughts?
So
how do we
spot
get
on
there?
that.
Yes.
Let me just say that I think it's important for us to hear views like this so that we can really understand the thought process, the ideology of this administration. Unfortunately, the president has not presented himself for a proper interview where we can interrogate certain things. Even before he became president, he did not submit himself for a debate to help to analyze, interrogate some of the ideas that he had for Nigeria. Even when he went to Chatham House, he wasn't able to articulate what he had planned for Nigerians. Instead, he relied on teamship, calling on members of his team to respond to questions that were on the minds of many Nigerians. So to be fair, Nigerians don't actually have a clear idea of the plans and directions of the president based on his views. But when he comes out to speak like this, then we have an idea. And what was going through my mind when he was speaking about, hunger has been there before he was born and doesn't have a control of population numbers, I thought, but wow, this is it. We are in a critical situation. If the president can speak like this concerning the country, it reminds me of what one of his spokespersons said, Daniel Buhala, when he was saying that, the poor people will always be around, that's why the church has poor people, making a justification for the levels of poverty. And when you hear justifications and excuses like this from leadership, then it means that there is no plan or there is no thought as to how to get to understanding the issues and how to get Nigerians out of this terrible situation we find ourselves. Talking about numbers, I don't know how any government is able to plan without data. And so what we have is estimations and vibes. How it's feeling is almost, like how you go and check, let me see the forecast. You have no critical data to analyze and dimension the real issues. How can you talk about population control if you do not even understand the population, the rate of growth of population in Nigeria? You cannot give us that. The last administration, which the president said he inherited, had planned, had started conversations around a population census. They said they were not going to do it. They were going to leave it for the next administration to do. Since the last 3.5 years that President Tinubu has come into office, there's been no talks around population census. So we are still effectively planning in the dark. What happens with that is that it does not inspire confidence that we know where we are going as a nation, whether economically, whether planning for the most vulnerable, whether planning for poor people, whether the plans to make lives better for the poor. And that is a worrying situation. What I would suggest as I close is this. The president needs to give us numbers, data on how these policy reforms is talked about, especially the unification of the exchange rate and just final point, unification of exchange rate and the removal of fuel subsidy. To what extent these savings has contributed to more money in the pockets of the ordinary Nigerian? Actual data. Number two, jobs that have been created. What are the numbers of jobs that have been created? Not just estimations, not just vibes, but how many jobs have been created by this administration? Right. Just simple things like that, and not give excuses that any leader should not be making to his people.
All right, we have to move, Dr. Abati. One sentence, please.
It's unfortunate when the president says, well, hunger has been existent since he was even before he was born. Now that rubbishes this commitment, even by his own government, to agriculture as a primary responsibility and a primary target of government. Every government in Nigeria has always said agriculture should be major focus to create jobs and to make sure that it goes to bed hungry in Nigeria. It's like the president saying agriculture is not important. If people want to go to bed hungry, they can go to bed hungry because it's a fact of life, which has been there since he was born or before he was born. The second thing is planning without data. Planning without data is one of the major challenges in the development process. The international rule is that population census should be conducted every 10 years. The last time Nigeria conducted population census was 2006, 20 years ago. But over the years, we've been budgeting for the National Population Commission. They will say they are doing birth and death registration census. At the end of the day, every government will say, we are planning for census. Money will be budgeted. Nothing will happen at the end of the day. So we're just planning in the dark.
All right.
And that, does not show that we're committed to the development process.
Okay, Rufai.
My comment on this matter is, let the poor breathe. Don't suffocate them.
That is the president's statement, Rufai. It's not your statement. Did you borrow it? Where did you borrow it from? Well, all right. Okay, well, thank you all.
Breaking. President Bola Tinubu approves 46 billion Kanu Airport runway reconstruction. 46 billion naira Kanu Airport runway reconstruction. Not 46 billion naira to rebuild an airport, but the reconstruction of the runway. And that was the headline I saw while I was scrolling through my X yesterday. And I was hosting my live at the same time, simultaneously when I saw it, and I was livid. I was like, wait, let's pause first. 46 billion naira to renovate or to reconstruct a runway. For those that don't know what is a runway is where the jets or the aeroplane, as the case may be, drive with speed, boom, then take off. That is the runway. 46 billion. Not to renovate all the runways in Nigeria, just Kano State. And when I saw this figure, my head exploded. And I told my co-host, my brother, well in Nigeria, I said, please, can you help us? Can you just break down what 46 billion naira can do? How many hospitals 46 billion naira can build for Nigeria? Just ask Glock real quick. Because we're live on air when I saw these things, and I was livid. I was like, because the problem I understand with Nigerians is that we are already desensitized to figures. When we hear this money, we just see it as figures and we pass. We see it as headline and we pass away. We don't understand what this money can actually do. We don't. We just see it as, maybe 14 billion. It don't pass. So for me, I want to start itemizing all these fraudulent figures you hear that Tinubu invest in this, invest in that, what it can actually do, and you will see the effect for Nigerians. So I asked him this question. I said, bro, please check. And my brother came back and I was almost crying with what he showed us. And he asked Grok, he said, hi Grok, quick question. How many hospitals can 46 billion naira build? Also do same for primary healthcare centers. And Grok answered him. And it said, rough 2025 to 2026 Nigerian estimates based on construction plus basic equipping, land extra, varies by location and spec. Standard mid-sized general hospitals, 2.7 to 3.4 billion. That is equivalent to 13 to 17 hospitals. Fully equipped type 2 PHC, solar equipment, staff quarters, fencing, equivalent to 90 million per each. That is, we give you about 510 centers. That is primary healthcare. That's what the word PHC stands for, primary healthcare. You can build 510 primary healthcare centers that is fully equipped with solar and staff quarters plus fencing. Then basic primary healthcare centers that will cost like 30 to 60 million, you can build 760 to 1,500 centers. Nigeria has 774 local governments. So with the money Tinubu has budgeted that he wants to renovate the reconstruction of Kano State runway, you can actually build close to 1,500 basic primary healthcare centers equipped for Nigerians. That is some local governments we have two. But Tinubu is budgeting all that money for runway. Nigeria. You see, all this criminality is being done in real time in his first term, when he knows that he owes you accountability, when he knows that he needs your vote, even though he intends to rig, but he needs a sizable number of votes to come back to power. Tinubu is showing you people all this open, brazen corruption, unchecked, unwarranted corruption he's showing us right now. Nigerians. This is the same man that I just made expose a few days ago that we are actually paying for subsidy, that he has paid subsidy.
Over 11 trillion naira was spent on fuel subsidies during Buhari's time for the 8 years he was in office, and we were buying fuel at between 187 to 250 naira. Now, fuel subsidy is gone. Immediately, Tinubu came into office. Now we are buying fuel currently at over 1,300 naira across Nigeria. But NNPC now says that it has spent money over 11.9 trillion on what it calls energy security expense. Energy security expense in 2 years, between 2023 and 2024, over 11.9 trillion has been spent, and we are still buying fuel at 1,300. Let me tell you what this energy security expense is. According to the NNPC, it is the costs NNPC incurs to ensure Nigerians continue to have access to fuel and other energy products, even when supplying them is expensive or results in financial losses. Please, is that not like subsidy? Is that not like subsidy? If subsidy is gone, like people claim, and we are buying fuel at the price we are buying it, how can you open your mouth and tell Nigerians that you have spent that amount of money, over 11 trillion naira, on energy security expense in 2 years? In Buhari's 8 years, we spent 11 trillion. Buy fuel at 187. In 2 years, buy fuel at over 1,000 naira. We have spent over 11.9 trillion, more money than in 8 years was spent on subsidy. Can you not see that this government is a government of thieves and criminals, that the administration led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu is out to intentionally suffer Nigerians? Explain it to me. Please, somebody in the oil sector should come and make this thing make sense. How can you spend 11.9 trillion on what you call energy security expense? Expense on what? Are we not buying the fuel at the normal price? Are people still putting any subsidy for us? And how can you spend 11.9 trillion in just 2 years? Come on now. You might fool the gullible APC followers, the dimwits and numbskulls, but not all of us are like that. We have brains and we think. This is criminality. All of you supporting APC, continue to support your oppressors.
Omo. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. APC. You see? Oh my God. When I do all these things I'm doing, right, it could be like, say, you hate this man. It could be like, say, you don't like this man. It could be like, say, Sada, waiting this up. Hey. So, Nigerians, as you just heard, the federal government of Nigeria that came out on May 29th, 2023 and said subsidy is gone. We are no longer paying subsidy. All they did was to rechange the name and hike the price up so that you people will bear the brunt, because subsidy never left. They have been paying subsidy till date. They just changed the name, but that money is still even almost, because from, you heard what he said, for Buhari's 8 years they paid subsidy in the tune of 11 trillion. In 2 years they are paying subsidy of 11 trillion. in 2 years. So Tinubu is paying in 2 years what Buhari paid in 8 years. So look at the increase. Just picture the increase yourself, Nigerians. And so when I saw it, I was like, okay, my friend made this submission on my show. And I was like, bro, please send me materials. I need to see this. Then he sent me this video. And I was like, okay, maybe my brother is just, this is tricky tip, by the way. Maybe he just does not like the government, as they always say, and propaganda and a lie. So then he said, no, there's still materials. So there's still materials. He now sent me an article from The Guardian. And the headline is, FG 17.5 trillion debt to NNPCL exposes hidden fuel subsidies, says Oye. Date 22nd July 2026. I'm going to read briefly. Economist and chairman of the Alliance for Economic Research and Ethics Limited, GTE, Dele Oye, has said that the federal government's 17.5 trillion debt owed to the NNPCL represents a continuation of the fuel subsidy regime under a different arrangement, despite the government declaration in 2023 that subsidy had been removed. Oye, who is the immediate past president of the Organized Private Sector of Nigeria, OPSN, said that the liability accumulated through what NNPCL described as energy security expenses under recovery and other receivables amount to the hidden subsidy structure.
So guys, this can only happen under APC government. You could imagine the kind of thing happening under Tinubu government, and then some people are even supporting the same APC government. How can somebody as a Nigerian that have been suffering for over 8 years or 10 years of APC government, or even 12 years, still come out and say that he wants to support APC because of what he or she will gain? Go and ask those that supported APC in that election. All of them, I mean all of them, are regretting today why did they support APC government, because there was nothing to benefit from APC government. Rather, they are all regretting their actions, especially those in the north. Many of them have come out to say that they regret voting for APC. Many have come out to say that they regret that they will never make that mistake again in the next election. And then some people are going to make the same mistake by supporting and voting for APC government, because under APC government, they are witnessed a high level of hunger, and our leader is saying that before he was born, there was hunger in Nigeria. So how do we intend for such government to end poverty and hunger in Nigeria? And Obi said that you can't fight insecurity in a country where hunger is thriving. It's not possible. That these two must come together. That one must be dealt with, which is hunger first, before we can talk about fighting insecurity. Because he was right. The level at which people are now stealing now is alarming. The level of ritual is alarming. The level of scammers is alarming, because there's hunger in the land. You don't expect them to sit down and die of hunger. This is why we have high level of insecurity happening in Nigeria. So guys, let me get to a view and I'll see you guys in my next video.